besties? Welcome back, or welcome if you're new. My name is Kyan, and this is Kyan is Booked. Today, I bring to you a video that has been in the works for a couple weeks now. I am really excited to be one of the collaborators on the A to Z collab. Becky from Beck Reads, I'll link her in the description box below, reached out to like 20 and 21 of us, if I remember the group chat correctly, and asked if we wanted to be a part of the A to Z collab. And I was like, yeah, sure. What are we A to Zing? And she said, I mean, whatever, like you get to pick your theme. So I was pretty excited about that. And I was kind of tossing around different ideas of like what I wanted to do in this video. Also to the 20-ish other booktubers that are a part of this will be linked in the description box below, because we'll have a playlist of all available options for the A to Z collab, which like I said, will be in the description box. And then any of the books I go over today will also be linked in the description box on the off chance that you would like to read it. So today we are doing the A to Z Mafia Romance Book Recs. So if you don't know, now you do. I'm a co-host for the Mafia Romance Readathon for 2025. And when I was asked to be a part of this collaboration, I was like, oh my gosh, it'd be a great way to put together like a Recs list. Now, I am going to let you know that I have read some of the books on this list, but a vast majority of them I haven't read yet. So we're going off of the fact that like it fulfilled the letter that I needed it to fulfill, more than likely. If I do let you know, hey, I've read this one, please understand that it's a 4 or a 5 star. I did not put anything less on the list. If I didn't like it, I definitely wouldn't rec it. So definitely keep that in mind. The structure of my video is going to be pretty simple. I was trying really hard not to make it like a 45-minute long video. So we'll have the picture of the book. I will read the title, the author, and then I went through all 26 of the blurbs and I pulled out like the most interesting line from the blurb. And I'm going to read it to you. And then you can make the decision of like, oh, that sounds interesting, or maybe that's not for me. I do want to point out that if you're an avid Mafia romance reader, then you know that there are a lot of tropes in here that might need you to read the trigger warning. So enemies to lovers, friends to lovers, childhood best friends, brother's best friend, captive, kidnapping, marriage of convenience. So definitely make sure you check out the trigger warning, because I'm not going to list them for all of the books because we would be here forever. And also to double check before you dive into the book that it's not a book that requires you to read a book previous to this. Some of these books are book 2 or 3 in the series. And while they looked like interconnected standalones to me, trust but verify. Also, if you see movement like right over here, that's my pup, Belle. She doesn't want to lay anywhere else in the house except for right next to me. And I've got to film, so here we go. I have my trusty handy dandy list. I even typed it, so we're so official. And the first book that we're going to dive into for our Mafia Romance Recs are 1,000 Cuts by Anne Malcolm. I've had this author on my TBR for a while now, and I'm actually considering adding this to my Mafia Romance Readathon TBR because I've really been meaning to read it. And the blurb line from this one was, he was king of the underworld and he wanted me to be his queen. Next up, we have Bad Saint by Monika James. I have read the entire trilogy. I really enjoyed it. And this blurb line was, I was sold in a game of poker, no less. Next, we have C, and that is Cruel Enforcer by Maggie Cole. I've read one other book by Maggie Cole. I definitely want to get back into this series because I believe it was Beautiful Stranger, which is the first book in this series. This is Cruel Enforcer is the third, I want to say. But I really enjoyed it, and I definitely have been meaning to read more of her books. So Cruel Enforcer by Maggie Cole, and the blurb line is, even when he thinks it's safe, it never really is. D, I chose Dom by S.J. Tilly, and this is book 3 in the Alliance series. I love the Alliance series. If you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. Dom is my second favorite in this series, and the blurb line that I chose for this one was, maybe this man is the one who will finally save me from my loneliness, the one to give me the family I've always craved. Next up, you have E, and I took some liberty here because it's The Emperor, but Emperor by Runix, and this is book 3 in the Darkverse series, and this series does have to be read in order, so just keep that in mind before you dive in, because the events of book 1 and 2 will definitely lead into the Emperor, so I highly recommend that you read the series in order as intended. And the blurb line that I chose for this one, And their young love is transformed, replaced by a deep intimacy, power, and survival. The reluctant king and an inevitable queen play. Next up, I have Filthy Savage by Lillian Harris. I haven't read any Lillian Harris. I do see her quite frequently on people's recs, so definitely an author that I probably want to add into my Mafia Romance TBR. Not sure just yet. The blurb line that I chose for this one was, "And now the man who once saved me is the one I'll need saving from instead." This basically has me convinced that I need to read all of these. That would be a fun vlog if I decided to read all of these books. Minus the ones, obviously, that I've already read. Okay, next up I have G, and a lot of you are probably thinking, oh my gosh, she went God of, and I did, but not the one you're expecting. So, God of Vengeance by Michelle Hurd. The blurb line that I chose for this one was, "But if I think his refusal will set me free, I have another thing coming." I could have used a Rena Kent, one of the Legacy of the Gods books, but I wanted something kind of fresh, and I definitely already have her on this list. So I was like, hold off a little bit there, girl. Next up, I have Hans by S.J. Tilley, and Hans is my favorite of the Alliance men. This is book 4 in the Alliance series, and I'm obsessed with him and Cassie, and I just love everything about them. So the blurb line that I chose was, "I certainly don't belong in my pretty little neighbor's bedroom when she's not home, touching her things and inhaling her scent." Yes, that's in the blurb, just in case you were wondering. Next up, we have a Moral by Maggie Cole. And this one, the blurb line that I chose for this one was, "My ex bought me at an auction and forced me to marry him." Yes, this is on my TBR. I'm gonna be honest, if I haven't read these, I was like, wow, this book sounds really good. All of them that I added to the list, I was like, wow, this one's really good. I should read it. Next up, I have Joey by Sadie Kincaid. And this is blurb line. "It's a pity he's too loyal to my brothers to ever act on the sparks that constantly fly between us." So definite brother's best friend vibes. I want to say, if I remember correctly, that like he was adopted into the like family, the Mafia family, and she's had a crush on him for forever, but he's really close with her brothers, and we all know how that goes. Next up, we have K, which is obviously going to be King by S.J. Tilley. This is book 2 in the Alliance series, and the blurb line that I chose was, "And if I had to list 1,000 possible outcomes, witnessing my date's murder, being kidnapped by his killer, and then forced to marry the super attractive but clearly deranged crime lord would not have been on my bingo card." Yes, that was also the blurb too. S.J. Tilley just writes like hilarious blurbs where you just can't help but like giggle. I copied and pasted this line and was like, this better get some people to read this one. Next, we have L, which is Little Sunshine by Layla Frost. And the blurb line that I picked for this one, "She called me a behemoth. I wanted her to call me daddy." I almost said it with a straight face. I really liked that line, in case you couldn't tell. All right, we've made it almost halfway through, or just about halfway through. So next up is M, which is Mafia Mistress by Mila Finelli. I really hope I'm saying that correctly. And the blurb line that I chose for this one is, "And I always get what I want, including my son's fiance." So this is definitely on the TBR. I want to say this is like also a really popular series to recommend. And I've been meaning to read it for a while now. So definitely something that I'm considering for the readathon. So you'll have to check back and see though if I get through any of these books. Next up, we have N, which is Nero by S.J. Tilley, and this is book 1 in the Alliance series. And if you can't tell, I really think you should pick up the Alliance series. The blurb that I chose for this one was, "But that's the thing about being a bad man. I'll happily paint the streets red to protect what's mine." I love him. Nero's unhinged, and I don't know. I'm obsessed with the Alliance. I love all of those men, and I love them for different reasons. Next up, we have O, which is Owned by Sinner by Michelle Hurd. The blurb line that I chose was, "But can one monster really defeat another, or am I just a girl dreaming about the impossible?" I have been meaning to read this author. I've had a few people that I watch on on BookTube that talk about this series specifically and this author. So I'm actually really excited to hopefully dive into it. I might even just pick this one up because why not? Once again, I've taken some liberties. So the P in this one is The Predator by Runix, and this is book 1 in the Darkverse series. Tristan and Marana are my favorite couple of the entire series, and they have a duet, which is book 1 and book 2. So you have the Emperor and the Reaper. I'm sorry, the Predator and the Reaper. So the Predator is the beginning of the series overall, and definitely think of them as like star-crossed lovers. They come from like rival mafia families. And the blurb line that I chose for this one is hate, heat, and history clash together with unexpected sparks. Like even just sitting here and I'm just thinking about it. It's too good. I actually do have a reading vlog for this, and just be kind though, because it was like very early on in my vlogging journey, so it's not one of my best, but I'll definitely link it here if like if anybody would be interested in watching it. But I read, I think it was just The Predator or The Predator and the Reaper. I can't remember right now, but really had a great time with it. Next up, we have Q, and I was stressed about finding a book for this one, but I actually found one that I think that I might want to read. It's Quintessentially Q by Pepper Winters, and the line is, he may be a monster, but he's Tess's monster. And I want to say this is like a spinoff. Is it Tess's Tears? I don't know. Like, I want to say this is probably from like the male POV, and it has something to do with one of Pepper Winters' other series, but don't quote me on that because I haven't really read enough of her books to be like considered an expert. So I definitely am interested in reading this one because I love the concept of men who like really view themselves as like really horrible people, but like would do anything for their women. Next up, we have Ruthless Creatures by JT Geisinger. This is book 1 in the Queens and Monsters series. I am almost done with this series, actually, so let's not get too crazy here. But the blurb line that I chose for this one was, though I know he's hiding something, I'm drawn to him like a moth to the flame. I really enjoyed this book. It has like one of my favorite male scenes. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button, so you're gonna see 2 clips spiced together here. This is going really well. Okay, so I've got only a few more to go through. I'm having another great time. Each time I read one of these blurb lines, like I said earlier in the video, I'm like, I've got to read this one. Okay, so S is Sweet Temptation by Cora Riley. I have not read a Cora Riley. I know this series. No, is it this series or is it the Bound By series? I don't know, maybe both of them. Either way, I know that she's like very popular in the Mafia Romance world, and it's definitely a series or something that I need to get to. So I'm trying, I promise. So blurb line, Cassio wants Indiani and someone to warm his bed. He doesn't want a relationship on equal footing. This is a definite marriage of convenience, I believe, because she was promised to him at a young age. Next up, we have Throne of Power by Rena Kent. I do have a reading vlog for this one because I have read through Rena Kent's entire Renaverse in publication order, and I only have the Legacy of the God series left, and Throne of Power by Rena Kent was definitely up there for me because it falls very heavily into her mafia world, which is something that like I thoroughly enjoy. The blurb line that I chose for this was, in the mafia world, women don't reign. I'm the exception of that rule. I really, really enjoyed this one. They were definitely my front runners until I get later on in this list and I tell you like who actually won my heart. But I definitely recommend it. And like I said, I'll link the reading vlog if you're interested in my thoughts or like watching me like lose it while I read portions of the book. Next up, You Until Tomorrow Comes by Adelaide Forrest. I've been meaning to read her books as well. This entire list is just reminding me of like everything that's on my TBR and everything I've been meaning to do. So you don't have to call me out because I already know. So blurb line that I chose for this one was, for 16 months I've waited, biding my time and learning everything about her, and now it's time to finally make her mine. So just the idea that he's been obsessed with her and is like, she's mine and I'm gonna go get her. Yes, please. Next up, we have V, which is Vow of Deception by Rena Kent. And this is my favorite couple and my favorite trilogy or duet from her entire Renaverse so far. I'm caught, like I said, all the way up to the Legacy of the Gods. But also too, like, I don't see myself pitting the parents versus the kids. Like, I see myself ranking the parent relationships and then the kids relationships separately. Just because, you know, second gen, I don't think that's necessarily fair. And also too, like, will you unseat your father, Adrian, my man? Absolutely not. So I will link my reading vlog if you're interested. And the blurb line that I chose was, I chose to have a roof over my head. What's so hard about acting, right? Wrong. Honestly, it's so wild, and I love the twists and turns of it, and Adrian is just chef's kiss. Next up, I hope this is not a surprise to anybody, but it's When Heroes Fall by Gianna Darling. This is book 1 in the Anti-Heroes duet. This follows Elena and Dante, arguably one of my favorite mafia romances of all time. I relate to Elena so incredibly much, and it's both uncomfortable but also very freeing to see yourself in like this way, written beautifully. And you will never be able to talk me out of how much I love them. So the line that I chose was, I'm the villain of my own story. This is also, if you're participating in the Mafia Romance Readathon, I chose this as my host pick. And then you can do When Heroes Fall and then When Villains Rise, which is the second book. Oh, so good. I'm actually contemplating rereading it like right before we start the readathon. All right. Next up, I took some liberties with X and with Z because I was fighting for my life out here. So with X, I did a character name. So Xander from Keep Me by C. Hallam. And the blurb line that I chose was, she was my enemy, I was her new captor. So if I've been doing romantasy, I definitely could have used Aiden, but sadly not. Next up, I have Y, and I'm really actually excited about this one because Jen from the Book Refuge gave me the idea for this one because I was struggling so much with Y. But Yakuza Lover by Nozomi Mino, and it's a manga. And I don't know how many volumes there are, but I haven't read it, but I'm definitely probably considering doing it, like I said, for the readathon. I just really love it. And the blurb line that I chose for it was, Yuri attempts to turn her back on Oya and his dangerous lifestyle for good, but will the allure prove too great to resist? Obviously, it will prove too great to resist because we can't resist our mafia men. But I am really intrigued by the idea of reading a manga. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen. My final one, and like I said, I took some liberties with this one. Zahara from Sweet Prison by Neva Altaj, and hopefully I say that correctly. But the blurb line that I chose is, when he steps out of the shadows, the king reclaiming his throne, he sets the world aflame and burns my heart to ash. So I actually am going to be reading this series. I have committed to at least reading the first book of this series during the Mafia Romance Readathon, so I'm pretty excited about it. But yeah, so there are my A to Z Mafia Romance Book Recs. Let me know in the comment box below if you've read any of them, or if you have some suggestions for some other ones that I should add to my list. Like I said, I had a really great time putting this together and chatting with everybody in the collab chat, and kind of just being having the opportunity to be a part of it. And I loved that I was able to fulfill the Mafia Romance Book Recs because I was a little worried there for a while that I wasn't going to be able to find enough. But we did it. We did it, and this is going to be posted on time. And you know what? We love to hear it. I really hate that motorcycle. He goes by at the same time every night. Okay, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the little bit of chaos that was in this video. And by chaos, I mean literally just me clicking the wrong button and that motorcycle going by. Let me know in the comment box below if you're going to be participating in the Mafia Romance Readathon. Please be sure to go back and check out the playlist and watch the A to Z collabs that my friends did. I'm actually really excited to watch their videos. I see a lot of really great romance recs in those videos and in the list they've been putting together. So I'm very excited to take a. And as always, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.